And in theory, we are live. Says it's waiting for us. Let me make sure it's got the right stream key. Oh, we were live.
So we're live now.
Okay.
It just came through. Hello, everyone. Actually, hello me, because I'm the only one watching right now. Here's my auto.
All right. Let's get on the road.
Yep. Ooh, two watching. Well, you're probably watching.
I don't think it counts me.
The dash cam view is really bouncy.
Wobbly.
Yeah.
It may go away once we get in motion. It may stop being wavy.
Well, y'all have been warned. Take your Dramamine. Ooh, my volume's up on here.
Hey, hi Arnie. Thanks for joining us. You're our first viewer and first chatter of the day. We're getting ready to get on the road here, and we'll give some updates as we're driving. What's our next destination, my dear?
Loves in Albuquerque.
Loves and ABQ.
Yeah, it is. I can never remember the name of the road that it's on. It's like Central American Drive or something. Central Avenue Northwest. So it's Loves in Albuquerque. I don't see any live chat up on my tablet, so
I've got Arnie as the only one that's popped up.
okay, but what I'm saying is I can't keep up if I can't see it. And
Right.
it's
So on yours, make sure it says live chat and not top chat.
live chat, top
Okay.
messages, filter, all messages.
All right. Here we go.
Ah, I see it now. Hello.
Shoot down this street here. Try to miss this tree.
I don't know which way is better to get out, left or right.
Oh,
Well,
I'm going back the same way we came in. I'm not going through the big splash puddle.
it's like dude fixed his boat before we even left.
Yep. He said he was swapping out both tires on his trailer,
Ah,
and he had a impact gun, so it wasn't going to take very long. But I didn't know.
right. So, you want to wait till more people start watching before we start telling the tale?
I mean, we'll give it some time. Um, we'll get back on the road here anyway. We're in a little different setup than last time we live streamed on a drive like this.
A little?
Hey Arnie, how's our audio? Are we coming through loud and clear? Everything sound okay? Not a lot of background noise? Or anyone else that's out there listening, watching?
Oh, there's 4 watching now.
4.
Well, 3, because I'm watching on my tablet, so it counts.
Does this? We're heading east.
Correct.
I think they need to restripe this road a little bit. The lines are not very good.
Looks like they paved over most of the.
East. Okay, so east
Arnie
is straight.
sounds great, and blah, 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 blah. Big black bald man. Hey, coming through great as well.
Okay, good. Thank you, everyone, for that confirmation. We have had moments in the past where the wrong microphone was in use, and you ended up with a crap load of background noise.
Fucking truck almost ran the red light. Were we supposed to turn?
No, we're supposed to go straight.
Okay.
See?
All right. Sorry for the language, y'all. Not sorry. It's just how I talk.
I don't know if you guys could see that on the stream or not.
It was like a beige pickup truck was just plowing right through the red light, and
he locked it up right at the last second.
Yeah. Big Black Bulb Man wants to know where we've been. He's missed us.
Well,
well, we got 5 watching now, so we might as well start. And if anybody misses out, they can back it up and watch it later.
I think we should probably start all the way back in 2023.
2007.
No, 2023. We're not going to go all the way
right,
back.
let me take my shoes off for this.
That's weird.
See, I totally thought you were supposed to turn back there and go on the thing. Now we're going through Gallup. Enjoy Gallup, y'all. This is so 2023.
So 2023, we decided that we wanted some more space, that we were mostly spending all of our time in Las Vegas anyway, and we figured I'm going to turn the sound back on the GPS so I don't miss things.
Okay.
So we were spending a lot of time in Las Vegas anyway, and we weren't really traveling that much, and things had changed a lot in the RV world as far as campgrounds and availability and that kind of stuff. So we decided to come off the road, and we rented a house in Las Vegas. We traded our 2016 Allegro bus in on a 2024, right?
Yes.
Yeah, 2024 Tiffin Wayfarer Class C, a little small Class C. And it was okay enough. There were just a lot of quality issues with it.
A lot of quality
yeah,
issues.
a lot of quality issues. Things that should have been caught by Tiffin before it left just weren't. I hear a cop. I don't see any flashing lights behind me, though. Okay, good. So I ended up taking that we've taken it on several trips across country. We've been to Kentucky 2 or 3 times with it.
3 times.
3 times with it from Las Vegas. And then I took it to the Eclipse, which you may have seen the live stream in April. And on that trip, I also went to Red Bay to get as much of it fixed as I could. They did okay. They got pretty much everything I thought they were going to be able to fixed. Some of the issues that we had with it were design flaws. The heating system that we got the all electric version, which had a diesel fired burner called, I can't remember now.
It wasn't Aqua Hot.
No, it was a little small thing. It's not by Truma either. Timberline had a Timberline diesel fired burner that provided hot water and domestic heat for the RV.
After 200 yards, turn right.
Thank you. Not going to miss that.
She's just yelling it.
And the problem with that system, a little pretty dog, yeah.
It's a whole village.
Turn right.
Wasn't the system itself, it was how Tiffin designed it to be put in for the heating.
After 300 yards, turn left.
Turn left.
Left.
I got all turned around.
We are not going back to Vegas.
No. Wow, that is a super skinny target to hit. You'll forgive my pause here as I navigate this.
Can I just ask while you're doing that, if anybody out there knows of anyone that designs RVs what are they thinking? Because they are not designing them for any kind of efficient living at all. Like, and I would venture to say there are more people that use it more frequently than once or twice a year for a week at a time.
Especially the more expensive coaches.
Yeah, and if that's all you're going to use it for, that's great. You can live with that kind of thing. But day in, day out for months on a time or full time year rounds, like no one thinks about stuff that should just be, common sense.
So 65 is the speed limit, just getting up to speed here.
Please follow the route for 126.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so anyway, it looks like our
All right, did our
blue
signal
fire
drop?
disconnected. No, our signal's fine.
Oh, we're still live.
Yeah, that's all fine. It's just the thing that lets you see our engine statistics and all that stuff
Oh,
messed
well,
off.
that's not a big deal.
Yep. Okay. Well, anyway. So yeah, they designed the Wayfarer, at least the 2024 version that we had, which was the 25JW. They set it up so that everything was ducted back to a central point, um, as if you had the forced air furnace. But then when you got let me let this guy over here. When you got the timberline, instead of moving the heat exchangers out to where the heat ducts or the heat points were, heat source points in the RV, they just put all the heat exchangers in that central area and use the ducts. The problem with that is the heat exchangers for the timberline are not designed to be ducted. They don't have enough static pressure to push through those ducts. So the air that ended up coming out of the vents was cold because it was not insulated at all. And it was just a whisper of cold air. It wasn't really any heat at all to it. So when we were in Kentucky in November of 23, November, December, um, it was tough to keep the coach warm. We ended up using
Except for the closet. The closet was
yes,
always,
the closet was always hot
because the vents kind of leaked into that area.
well, the closet was right above all that heat exchanger stuff.
That's just us.
I don't know.
Okay, get in the bed.
So yeah,
Get in
it
the
was
bed.
just a weird design on that. And then, like I said, there were lots of small issues. There was wood warping because it was built in Alabama with high humidity and then taken to the desert and sat out there for a couple of months. So they replaced some wood and different things with it. Anyway, the other part of it for us, for our specific use, was that it was a Murphy bed that tipped down. And so it meant every single day you had to put the Murphy bed up, and then at night you had to bring the Murphy bed back down.
And it also meant when you're boondocking and trying to like stealth camp to just get to point B, you had to park somewhere where the slide could come out because you can't bring the bed down without the slide going out.
Yep. And the bed was over the couch.
Yeah.
So you couldn't sit on the couch while the bed was down.
Oh, and the couch was terribly uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was
awful.
really bad.
Just
Anyway, lots of little
just,
issues.
yeah.
So on our most recent trip to Kentucky, we started talking about how each time we had the Tiffin and the Wayfarer in storage, that more wood was warping. It was drying out, even though I left 5-gallon buckets of water. Yeah, Arnie says designed for fluff and stuff and not full-time living. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, each time we stowed it, more wood was warping. It was a lot of money to invest in something that was basically tearing itself apart every time we put it in storage. And it wasn't really comfortable for us because of design decisions and different things. And then, yeah, it just didn't meet our needs.
The other thing that we did not really take into consideration was we thought in my brain, like we had the tip and Allegro bus, so weight really wasn't carrying like an abundance
Right.
of paper plates or whatever. That really wasn't a problem. And so in my mind, we would just leave what we needed there, cookery and cookware, towels, but
Even
then
canned goods.
even canned goods. But by the time that we factored that weight into it, what was it, 900 pounds?
Yeah, we
And
had
that
less.
included whatever
That
water and
included the
fuel.
fuel and water and us and
So
our pets.
basically, a bag of Doritos and some socks were all that would be extra that we could carry. So it
Yeah,
it was a tote in, tote out, and
and be
every
very sparse about what you bring in. Like if we loaded all the cabinets up and loaded all the storage compartments, which there weren't a lot of storage compartments to begin with, we would be over the weight.
yeah,
And it only had a 5,000 pound towing capacity, so we ended up buying a Chevy Bolt EUV, which is a front wheel drive electric vehicle, and a 2-up tow dolly so that we could put the Bolt on that. Um, and that part specifically we knew going in, so we had all that planned out anyway. Um, but anyway, it just wasn't for us. It wasn't the right coach for us. Um,
in our mind, we were thinking we'll just like throw in some groceries and make sure the cat food is stocked up and then hop in it and go. And it ended up being a 3 day, a day and a half to load and a day and a half to unload around. So we never really took it for a weekend to like go to Valley
no,
of Fire because it was just so much.
yeah.
So
And the community we lived in has an HOA. You can't have your RV parked there for more than 24 hours. And, it wasn't a big RV. It was built on a Sprinter chassis, but it was big enough that it stuck out
very,
into the street
very
and,
narrow streets.
yeah, very narrow streets and different things. So it just didn't meet our needs. So we thought, okay, well, the next option is buy something that we're more comfortable in. But if we do that, then we're spending more money and we're still going to have the issue of the wood warping and different things being in the desert. So it's still going to deteriorate between trips, and we'd still have the multi-day loadout and multi-day unload. Um, just because the other part was in the heat of Las Vegas, it was 115 degrees at times outside.
Most
So
of
it
the
was
time.
like 160 inside the RV. So anything we left in there had to be really, really heat stable. Um, and it was still going to deteriorate in storage. So it didn't make sense for us to spend a lot more money on something that was more comfortable for us, that was still going to have all these other issues. So we just decided, well, Las Vegas is feeling kind of long in the tooth for us. Um, it it's kind of lost its luster. We've been coming to Las Vegas for 14 years now, and spending a lot of time in it for about the last 8 or 9 years. So, it kind of makes sense that the newness has worn off and the honeymoon phase is over and everything.
Well, that and climate change. Like when we first started going out there, it was nothing for me to just sit outside in the shade, but during triple digit weather. And it was not a problem. The last few years that I've spoken to several of my friends are born and raised Vegas, and it is incrementally just getting worse and worse and worse. And the fact that this year it's been like I think it hit triple digits in May
Yeah,
and then it didn't relent until tomorrow it's supposed to drop down.
yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah.
And they beat the record. I think the record high in Las Vegas was like 118, and
Yeah.
now
It's like
this last year it was like
121 or something.
120,
Yeah.
120, 121, somewhere in there.
And we're not that far from Death Valley. So
Yeah,
it's not like you can get away from the heat by, like, you could go up the mountain to Mount Charleston, but everybody goes up on the mountain to Mount
yeah,
Charleston. So, and a lot of people are moving into town and it's,
yeah. The population has exploded
yeah.
with
And it's the kind of people that want to bring back east or tropical crap with them. So they want their lawn, they want like fruit trees and things that bloom. So allergies in the last 5 years
yeah, have
have
really gone
have
through
really gone through the roof. So
and bugs. There's
Oh.
bugs in Las Vegas where there didn't used to be hardly any bugs in Vegas.
Yeah, screen for mosquitoes now. Like,
Yep.
what? It's the desert.
And it's not like Vegas was touristy enough, but now we have, what, 3 professional sports teams?
I think we have all the, yeah, because we've got baseball coming. We have hockey, football, women's basketball. I think maybe men's basketball is coming back or coming.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Soccer.
And we have the Sphere, which is another huge tourist draw.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot going on in Vegas. So we decided, okay, we don't really love Vegas anymore. We don't want to spend money on something that deteriorates in the desert. Let's buy another big coach and go back on the road full time. And literally, here we are. Like, this is the first trip in the new coach.
Surprise!
Yep. I haven't even gotten to the point of posting a picture of it on the blog. I posted a coming soon, but there were delays, and so
Quite a few.
yeah, quite a few delays. So my apologies for the tease that just hung out there forever.
One of the other reasons is that we went back full time is because Michael and I had a very long heart to heart about one of the reasons why I wanted to come off the road was because I was feeling claustrophobic with all the stuff. Because
I'm a tinkerer.
He is a tinkerer, and he is a collector of things, zip ties,
twist ties,
broken tech, that kind of thing.
Things I'm going to fix eventually, but never get around to. Or parts of things that I know will be useful in the future that, hey, I've got it. I might as well keep it and use it in the future whenever it becomes handy.
So one of the caveats for being willing to go back on the road is we had to pare down a lot. And it was difficult. Like, I still get teary-eyed that we don't have the Rivian anymore.
Yeah.
It was my suggestion and ultimately my decision.
And it was the prudent thing to do.
It was.
We could have bought another car hauler and kept the Rivian and sold the Bolt. But then we would have had just the same issues of finding a park that we could put the 24-foot car hauler in along with the 45-foot coach.
Yeah.
At least by letting go of the Rivian and sticking with the Bolt with the little 2-up tow dolly, it gives us a little more flexibility in the RV parks that we can stay at.
Yeah. And Arnie mentions, he said, good point on weight. A lot of RVers don't take into consideration how fast weight grows when traveling. Yeah, they don't. And we've met people that will flat tow their Jeep with no extra braking gear or anything on it and load the bejesus out of that thing. I'm not gonna out the person by name, but thousands of pounds of Tandy leather tooling equipment.
Hundreds anyway.
Yeah, a lot. In the whole back end of the Jeep, just trucking down the road. Yeah. And he also said, don't take this the wrong way, but now you can identify with Native Americans. And I'm guessing that's complaining about people coming into the desert and trying to grow the Midwestern. And I was born in Ohio, so I understand the draw of lilacs and, butterflies, but still. Phil Armishaw, hey, long time no see. Interesting update. Yeah, we're just full of surprises today.
Yep. So, yeah.
And we have 12 people watching.
Woohoo! Hi, peeps.
You really missed us.
I'm a real boy.
All 11 of you.
So, yeah.
So what did we get?
Oh. Yes.
We did not get a tiffin.
Let's take you on a journey of the purchase.
I'm not go through all of that drama.
No, not the full drama. No. But I'm going to say, so we made that decision about going full time and all the major life-changing decisions we made while we were in Kentucky on our last trip out there. And that was the month of June and the first week of July, basically. So it was about mid-June, end of June that we made the decision.
Yeah, we were still in Kentucky because it shocked everybody. Everybody was like, what?
Yeah. And there's a really cool used RV dealer in Kentucky That's about an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half from where we were.
Lovely drive, by the way.
Yeah, lovely, lovely drive. Sewell Motorcoach. Yes, Sewell Motorcoach.
Doug.
Yeah, Doug is the main guy. You'll find him on YouTube. He posts a lot of videos about what he does. Um, really seems like a stand-up guy. Would have loved to have been able to buy from him. And we went there to look at a newer, like a
I think it was a
2022.
24, 23.
No, the Allegro bus.
I think it was a 23 or a 22.
I think it was a 22. Yeah, so it was a 22 Allegro bus. It was a 37 AP, which isn't big enough for what we wanted, but we wanted to see the build quality difference between our 2016 bus and what they were doing in 2022. What's up?
I gotta get a beverage.
Okay. Let me see if mine needs a refill. Yeah, could you refill mine?
Uh-huh. And we're getting to what we actually got again. Black
Yes.
Bald Man's getting impatient.
So we looked at that, and it wasn't. The other part was we wanted to compare the 22 Allegro bus to our 24 Wayfarer to try to figure out if the quality decrease in the 24 Wayfarer was Tiffin in general, or was it specific to the Class C line, like they just weren't designing the Class Cs up to the same standards. So we looked at that, and it was fine. We didn't see any glaring issues, and we knew Doug at Sewell Motor Coach, all the inspections and stuff they go through, all the effort they go into to make sure that everything is perfect before you drive away with it. It would have been a great coach. Danke. Then the other one we looked at was a 2020 Integra Cornerstone. And immediately upon walking in, it was a night and day difference. The amount of sound isolation inside the coach compared to what was in the Allegro bus and what was in our previous Allegro bus,
You coming?
it was amazing. Like everything just got dead quiet. And I also noticed the smell of leather. And it turns out they use real leather for their furniture, Integra, on their luxury diesel lines. So looking around the Cornerstone and everything, it was really nice.
The thunk of the door when the cabinet's closed, it was just like bonk.
And the thunk of the cabin door, like coming in and out of the coach. It was a major improvement over the bus. And so we unfortunately it just wasn't the right floor plan for us. It wasn't the right coach for us at that time. So even though it was a great deal and we knew it would have been a great coach, it just wasn't for us. But that solidified to us that we really wanted to pay a lot more attention to Integra than we had in the past. And so we started looking at the Integra Anthems and Integra Cornerstones, and we ended up buying a new, still on the lot, 2023 Integra Anthem.
44B as
Yeah,
in boy.
44B as in boy, floor plan. And we got it. Number one, we got a really smoking deal on it because it was a 2023 and the 2025s are available now.
Yeah.
So it was a 2-year behind model year that was still new on the lot. Yeah, I don't know what I think that's the thing trying to reconnect to the Bluetooth dongle for the, anyway.
They're guessing. People are guessing what we got now. So yeah, we got the Integra coach.
Yeah, we got the Integra Coach Anthem 44B, model year 2023. So there's a huge amount of upgrades, of course, between our 2016 bus and the 2023 model years in general across the board. And then, of course, moving from the Tiffin bus to the Integra. And just if you're not aware, Integra's motto is the quietest riding, best handling coach on the road, period.
It could be a little longer.
Yeah, they could put more words in it. They paid somebody by the word for their slogan tagline.
Wordy.
But so far, it has very much lived up to that
Very much
tagline. It is substantially quieter. There's not a lot of squeaks and rattles. It handles way better. It handles potholes and um, road issues and different things way better. It's much quieter and incredibly quiet.
Yeah,
It's
we slept at a truck stop last night,
yeah,
and in the other actually in every other coach that we've ever owned, and this makes number 5 or number 6, I can't remember.
uh, 5. This is number 5.
That I didn't hear anybody pull in or pull. So when I took Fiona out in the morning, it was a shock that there were it's like, oh yeah, we're in a parking lot. Totally forgot about that.
Yeah, and there are trucks parked like right up
Right
next to
there,
us.
yeah. So, and it's not the color that I fell in love with, but it's the 2024 that have like that purple accent on the cornerstone that I liked. But it's a nice,
Yeah, so
classy. It's steel gray is what they
I
call
think
it.
so.
It's
Yeah,
got a little bit of gold-ish beige. It kind of looks like the away jerseys for the Pittsburgh Penguins, like a soft gold, silver.
yeah.
So,
Arnie says he can tell how much quieter it is just in the broadcast. That's
oh yeah,
cool. I'm
and
glad to hear that.
we're not yelling, like
Yeah,
just having a nice conversation. And then when I used to tell this story when we had the fifth wheel, we were towing in the truck. When we got rid of the fifth wheel, we ended up with a gas coach with the dog box. And I used to always question, like my aunt and uncle RV'd for decades, and they would yell at each other in the RV. And I thought, if they don't like each other, why are they, subjecting themselves to being on the road like this? We got into that. Was it a Four Winds?
yeah. A Four Winds
Yeah.
Windsport Prestige,
And
which was a 37-foot gas Class A.
yeah, and I felt like I needed to apologize to them for my assumption, because Michael and I were just yelling at each other just so we could be heard. Like,
Yeah, the engine, that Ford
right
V10
there.
engine right between you, any type of incline at all, it was just screaming loud.
Yeah.
Looks like we might get into some rain today, my sweet.
Yeah. But I looked at highway weather. It just says cloudy. So,
Okay.
but it's not going to be like a storm, I don't think. I hope not anyway. One of the other things that happened that you all may not be aware of, I don't know when our last live stream was, but we adopted 2 kittens
Yes.
in 2022.
22?
Yep. They were born in 2022. Because
Okay.
they're 2.5 now.
Yes, you're right. Sorry, man, time flies.
Yeah, right after we lost Louis to cancer. He was 14, almost 15.
Yeah.
And
He had adenocarcinoma in his gums and his jaw bone and everything.
and I was following on Instagram some fosters in the Vegas area, and a few days after he passed, I was kind of like consoling myself looking at cat pictures, and saw these 2 adorable little teeny tiny babies. They were neonates when they were rescued. They had their umbilicals on, didn't have their
Ears
eyes
folded
open,
back,
nothing, just
eyes
teensy tiny
closed,
little
yeah.
babies. And so we have them now,
So Arnie asked,
handling in the wind.
yeah. So honestly, we didn't have any issues with the Allegro bus handling in the wind.
But the Wayfarer,
The Wayfarer was horrible, primarily because it was still a large box and it didn't
High
weigh nearly as much, high profile. And
Chico King.
the Mercedes Sprinter chassis has to be the worst. Okay, so Mercedes evidently doesn't think you will ever be on a road where there isn't a car in front of you for 30 minutes. Because if you were driving in the desert Southwest, there are lots of roads you can be on where you don't see another car for an hour. So after 30 minutes of no vehicle being registered by its adaptive driver assist systems, it would kick out and not let you use cruise control. And then you had to be behind another car of some sort, car, truck, whatever, for 30 minutes before it would say, oh, okay, I've figured myself out now. I'm not completely blind and dumb. You can use cruise control again. It was bananas.
Well,
and
wasn't there that crosswind?
yeah, so it also has crosswind assist. But if you're in crosswinds for too long, which this stretch of road that we're on right now between here and Amarillo, we're in Arizona. No, we're in
No,
New
we're
Mexico
in New
now.
Mexico.
Uh,
So between Albuquerque and Amarillo,
yeah, usually has really high crosswinds. And it's not uncommon for it to be sustained 35 to 40 miles an hour with like 60-mile-an-hour gusts. So if your steering angle in the Sprinter didn't match your angle of travel for an extended period, it again thought that its sensors were wrong and it would just kick out every sensor and not let you use cruise control again. So the whole crosswind assistant would actually keep you from using the vehicle the way that it was designed. And that happened to us at least 8 times in the trips that we'd made back and forth.
and we actually cut the day short and just
Yeah.
stopped in Albuquerque because if we were getting 70-mile-an-hour winds and crosswinds,
Yeah, it was blowing us around a lot.
yeah, we went on what is it, the Windy app, just
Yeah.
to see like what the real time measurements were, and it was insane. And it was
Not saying that it was a great wind day to begin with.
no,
Like,
but
in that vehicle, it was not
it
safe.
was really, yeah, it was not safe. So we stopped in Albuquerque or Amarillo.
Yeah, but this, the Integra handles great. It actually has some sort of a steering assistant that it tries to keep you like straight. And so if there are winds, high winds or whatever, even like buffeting from the truck we just passed, I didn't feel it at all. Like the coach did not move. So it's
Yeah, it looked like he had more problems with us passing him
Yeah.
than we did.
so yeah, this thing handles really, really well.
And even the frost heaves in eastern Arizona on this highway, it's in the Tiffin, in the Allegro bus. What was it? We had just bought the X.
Yeah,
and
we just bought the X and we were on our way back from Kentucky.
and it was all strapped in, and we were hitting frost heaves, and the Tiffin bounces so much.
It was like a bucking bronco.
Yeah, and it carried the car hauler, in that motion. And we ended up, Michael had to do like a 27 point turn to get the X out because it had come off the track.
All the straps had come off the tires and
it
the
was,
X had twisted sideways inside the car hauler and it had moved forward relative to the X itself. It moved back against the load wall. So the nose of the X rubbed paint off on the load door of the trailer. So yeah, we pulled over at the next off ramp and
actually pulled over on the side of the road because I walked out into the field and screamed.
yeah, we had a few choice words with the desert, and then I got to figure out how in the world to get the X out of the trailer.
You freak out first, collect yourself, and then get back at it.
Yep.
But this time we hit the frost heaves, and at first I thought, did we miss them? And right about the time I said that, we hit the first one.
Yeah,
and I
it
mean,
wasn't.
It was rolling, but it
Yeah,
wasn't.
I mean, you felt the heave, of course,
Yeah.
because it was a large change in elevation of the road.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like this bucking
and it didn't keep
system.
going on. Like the suspension is so much better in this that
Yep.
I felt like, was it Uncle Buck's car in the movie where like he hit?
Yeah, the shocks were.
The shocks
blown,
were
and
so bad that he was just bouncing going down the highway.
Yep.
That's kind of what I thought the Tiffin felt like in a lot of instances. But we decided that we have so many friends and family and people that we care about that are back east that we almost never get to see. Because usually, historically, as soon as I go like east of Texas, the fibromyalgia from the humidity and everything else is just unbearable. But these last few years, I've got my regimen down pretty well. That we've been back east for months at a time, and it's not been miserable.
Yeah, usually 6 weeks at the maximum.
Yeah.
But that was the Wayfarer too. For her fibromyalgia, it twisted her up in knots. Just the travel
Just
with
the travel of it.
the Wayfarer.
And this is saying something because the chair in that, the captain's chair, was more comfortable than the one in the Allegro bus.
Yeah.
But it was still just yeah. So far, this is really, I'm liking it. But this is our first trip, so.
Yep.
My chat keeps crapping out on me.
Somebody said congratulations. I can't read enough.
Oh, it's Daphne. Hi, Guard Bunny. Congratulations. So happy for you both. Back full-time RVers and on your new anthem.
Yep. Thank you so much, Daphne.
And we blame her and her spouse because they told us about their Integra when I just mentioned it. And wow, yeah.
Yeah, they had a Tiffin as well and moved from the Tiffin into an Integra and confirmed that it was a night-to-day difference between the two.
So we're not trying to gatekeep anybody. If y'all have a Tiffin, go drive an Integra before you get another Tiffin.
Yeah, it's really something else.
And we had a Tiffin before they were bought by Thor.
Yeah,
so
we had a
can't really
Thor
say, it was like the quality of build was because Thor bought them. Because I think Jayco owns Integra.
So Jayco owns Integra, but Thor owns Jayco.
Oh. Okay.
So it's still a Thor company in the end, whether you buy a Tiffin or an Integra. But the build, the way they build the coaches is completely different as well. Tiffin, and you can see in our playlist for the build of our Allegro bus back in 2015.
Yeah, when they let you be on site.
Yeah, when they let you be on the line with it while it's being built. They lay the tile on the floor in another factory, and then they bring that tiled floor in on suction cups and set it on the frame on the subfloor. And then they put all the walls and everything inside the coach sits on top of the tile. Additionally, all the substructure in the Tiffin was metal, whether it was steel in the floor or aluminum in the sidewalls. And metal, being a very dense material, transmits sound and vibration through. The Integra, all the substructure is wood with the metal reinforcement in the cab area, which is the area that's protected for the passengers. And they don't tile the coach until everything is in it. So they actually bring in and hand lay tile around all the cabinetry, the walls, all that stuff. So all the wood products in the coach are bolted and glued to wood substrate, like the subfloor in the coach. So there's a lot less wood on tile squeaking. That it just doesn't happen because there's no wood and tile interface in the Integra.
Herbie says hi.
Hey, Herbie. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining.
We're back.
So
I have noticed, like, just hitting regular bumps in this compared to the Allegro bus, there isn't that rattle.
Yeah.
Like, we hit a really bad bump when we were just coming into New Mexico, and I don't know what it was. Like,
it was a big pothole area.
Big pothole area, or like broken pavement, and the only thing it was a loud clunk, but the only thing I heard was the glass in the fireplace kind of rattle a little bit.
Yeah,
now,
and then it settled back down.
Yeah, going over segmented concrete on a regular day in the Allegro bus, it's like shunk, 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 and you hear everything like compressing, and it's not, bouncing around.
And in this, it was very quiet.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Like you could tell it was segmented concrete, but it was more of a background.
Yeah.
Than the foreground, like it was.
And nothing was rattling inside. There was.
Yeah. So when I went to pick this up in Oregon, so I had to drive to Oregon with our old Wayfarer, our new Wayfarer, it was a 2024, to trade it in on the 2023 Anthem. And when I was driving the Anthem back, what was it? I put a roll of toilet or paper towels.
Paper towels standing on the
standing up on end, and it was a partial roll, so it wasn't like the full girth of.
And it wasn't in a stand. It was just sitting on.
It was just sitting on the counter, and I drove all the way from Oregon to Las Vegas, and that roll of paper towels never turned over, which is mind-boggling to me. Like that,
In the Allegro bus, just getting out of the RV park in Vegas, everything would, if it wasn't stowed, double
yep.
checked, triple checked, things were going to be bouncing all over the place. Oh, Herbie, you should have joined in sooner. You just missed it.
So I'll give you the quick rundown. We traded our Allegro bus 2016 in on a 2024 Tiffin Wayfarer. It had a lot of design flaws and build quality issues. I took it to Alabama, got it fixed mostly, but aside from the design flaws, we hated that it was always tearing itself apart due to the low humidity and high temperatures in the desert. We wanted something bigger and better that was more comfortable and suitable for us. And we lost our honeymoon phase with Las Vegas. So we decided to go back on the road full time and another big coach. And we bought a 2023 new, still on the lot, 2023 Integra Anthem. 44B is in Bravo. You're caught up. Kind of.
Yeah, it only took 10 years to get out of the honeymoon phase with Vegas. Aw.
Yeah, poor pup. Yeah, 14 years we've been going to Vegas.
Yeah, and there's only about the last 6 years that
Yep.
we've been like, we could do better.
Yep.
But we always kept going other places and thinking, Vegas has everything we need, and let's just keep going back to Vegas. And it wasn't until these last few summers where we had months at a time with stretches well into the hundreds.
Yeah, 110 or above for long stretches.
And if you don't get out at the stores generally open up about 6 a.m. So I am up and at the grocery store 6 a.m. trying to run all my errands that I can and get home before people and heat.
Yeah, because people be people and
people too hard. People need to stay home. So.
Yeah, so the ride quality.
Tag.
So that is not on this model year, unfortunately. And even on the 2025 does have. So on the Cornerstone, they've had the steerable tag for a while. On the Anthem, I think 2025 they added the steerable tag, but on Integra, it's always a passive steer. It's not an active steer. I think Tiffin on the Allegro bus now has an active steer tag axle, but yeah, I never really noticed that it was a problem in the bus that we had before, the fixed tag axle. So I'm not missing it. If it's amazing, I'm not aware.
And for the deal that we got at 2023 over 2025, like I was telling him this morning, the price that we paid for this, I'm not even cringing at like doing a battery upgrade, or it does have carpeting on a slide. So we plan on putting woven vinyl marine quality mat down. We've seen several RVers do it. So just the cost of doing those things, I'm like, we got a really great deal. I'm all right with it.
Yeah.
And normally I'm the penny pincher. I'm like, nah, we'll just live with
it. So ballpark, instead of ordering a 2025 and getting the 2023, no, we saved over $100,000 by getting the 2023.
Yeah, but their sticker price, like most people aren't going to shop around. That sticker price is
right.
$250,000, which just no.
Yeah, and the Cornerstone that's their top of the line.
It is.
If you're familiar with Tiffin, it's their Zephyr equivalent. And it's the MSRP on the Cornerstone was $970,000 or something.
Yeah.
And the MSRP on this coach was $711,000. For comparison's sake, the 2016 Allegro bus MSRP on it was $430,000.
Yeah.
So upgrades that we got, and again,
wait.
Okay, go ahead.
Herbie, we do not own the lot in Vegas anymore. We sold it and put the money into this. That was one of the reasons why we were like, well, let's just get the full-time
Yeah.
package we want. And Arnie wants to know, is it a Liberty slide mechanism?
No, it is actually a slide system that Integra makes, and they have used it for eons. Back when they were, I think they were Country Coach was their original brand name, and they rebranded to Integra for some reason. Oh, we're getting some sprinkles. Um, so it's a custom 12-volt motor driven slide mechanism that has a torsion bar and a wheel with basically knobs that stick out of the wheel and engage into it's a rack and pinion basically. It engages into the rack uh, of the slide room. The one of the big benefits that they tout is that if anything were to happen to one of the drive motors and gear mechanisms or something for one of the slide rooms, all four are identical. So you could move one of the other slides in, four bolts pop out, and the drive mechanism comes off, and then it's a quick disconnect on the power fitting, and then you can move it to the other slide room and bring it in if it's an emergency. And there's only one of them that is actually tough to get to because it's inside of one of the rear wheel wells. But aside from that, all the other three are very easy to get to.
And
But from what we've heard, I haven't seen any reports of issues with these drive mechanisms or the slide mechanisms at all.
and we've not had any problems. We've had several different coaches where you have to baby the slide.
Yeah,
and bump
mostly
it and
the Schwintek we had a lot of issues with. And then the other thing we had a lot of issues with was in the 36-foot four winds. It had a dual hydraulic piston big slide that had a synchronization cylinder in between it, and it lost sync. So it would move one end out before the other, and whenever you do
down
that, man, it
upper,
tears
yeah.
some stuff up.
Daphne said Integra was Travel Supreme.
Thank you, Travel Supreme, not Country Coach. Thank you.
Control Cam. I'm a Floridian and live in St. Johns County, so you're making a wise choice moving here. Oh, we're not going to live in Florida. Oh, hell no.
So, yeah,
Have y'all ever been to Florida in May with the bugs?
yeah, the love bugs are atrocious. But yeah, so we're setting up our domicile back in Florida. It's where we were when we came off the road before we moved fully into Nevada. So we're having to go to Florida. Our temporary tags for this coach expire on the 20th. So we've got a few more days to get to Florida and get into an RV park, and then we're going to go get our driver's license and register and title the RV there.
And library card.
And library card, yep.
Register to vote.
Yep. So
the important stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll I mean we might spend some time in Florida from time to time, but it's not it's not the destination that we go for usually. But hey, who knows? We're going to be spending a lot more time in the eastern part of the US. So we may end up there in the wintertime.
Probably not, though.
We'll see. Never say never.
I'm not saying never. I'm saying probably not.
We have been pleasantly surprised on this trip by the fuel prices. I think our last couple of trips, they were in the high $3 range, up into the $4 range in some spots. And our first fuel up on this trip was $2.90 a gallon with our discount card, our TSD Logistics.
Evil Lang Builds Mick 2 says hello.
Hello.
I don't know.
The name she just said.
Yeah,
Evil
Lang.
Builds. Evil Builds?
Evil Lang Builds.
Evil Lang.
Mick.
Maybe it's Evelyn? Evelyn G Builds?
No, it's Evil, E-V-I-L.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to the stream.
Hello and howdy. Yeah, I'm more interested in seeing like New England and Upper Peninsula and Minnesota, Nova Scotia. Gotta go to Nova Scotia.
Yep. Do we have more chatters?
Uh,
I see
no,
somebody says oh,
I'm a Floridian.
yep.
I live in St. John's, and then
Yeah, so our
Better
destination for this trip is St. Augustine, Florida, the RV resort there, and then we're going up to Green Cove Springs to handle our licensing and titling and all that stuff. We kept our mail forwarding service that we had before, so we don't have to get that reestablished.
St. Augustine Beach has no crime rate.
Cool. We're familiar with Siesta Key, Florida. We've been there several times.
Well, my actually aunts and uncles, several of my dad's brothers and their families live in St. Augustine.
Oh, cool. Yeah. And we're familiar. I lived in Orlando for a year when I was in the Navy. I was stationed there.
We
And
spent a summer in Titusville.
yep, we did spend a summer in Titusville, caught a couple of rocket launches. So we've been in and around Florida quite a bit over the years.
Cops are brutal in Vegas too.
Yeah. They've been out in force for the last couple of weeks. We just got another message from Herbie.
Just an FYI, we will no longer be from Philadelphia after the 27th. We will temporarily full time until new house is built in and the comment cut off.
In South Carolina, NSC.
Oh, okay.
Nice. Congratulations, Herbie.
Yay. Where in South Carolina? Because we've lived there too.
Yeah, we've lived in South Carolina before too. The North Charleston area specifically. That's where I was living when we met.
Yep.
I smuggled her out of Virginia and down to South Carolina.
Yep. And then brought me right back to Virginia.
Yeah.
See, silly me. I thought marry a Navy man and, we'd go somewhere. Ended up 2 hours from my mom's house.
I thought it was 4.
Maybe the way you drive.
I think you got that reversed, but
Yeah.
so yeah, we're on day 2 of our drive. Day 1, we stopped a little ahead of our schedule, or a little before early, just because I'd kind of hit a wall as far as driving. I was getting tired, and you don't want to be operating any vehicle on the road when you're tired, let alone something that's 56,000 pounds or
Hi, Cam.
so.
He's got to get back at work or back to work, back to food.
Okay, see you later, Cam.
And there's a heart on my screen that blocks like the last bit of every comment, and I can't make it go away.
Can you not pop out the?
No, the comment,
Oh, you're in the app.
yeah, I'm in the app.
Are you in the studio app or the?
No, I'm in the live chat.
Okay.
Do we have a trailer? We have a dolly. We have a 2-up
Yeah, we have a
dolly.
2-up tow dolly, and it's a different design than most of the ones you see. It's actually designed so that you can stand it straight up vertically when you're stopped someplace. So when you're not using it, it takes up a lot less space in your sight than the ones that you typically see.
But if anybody from Rivian is watching, if you could make a flat towable EV,
Yes, please.
please work on that. Please, pretty please.
Yeah, this is about the 5th time we've given that feedback to Rivian.
Yeah. Like it's supposed to be an adventure vehicle. So
yeah,
what's
but
more
you can't,
adventuresome than towing it to go someplace?
yeah,
Go
like full-time living on the
it's
road.
an adventure.
Evidently, there are elk in this part of the
Oh yeah.
interstate.
We're in the Acoma area. This is, I want to say, still part of Navajo land. We might be in a different, because Imez is north of us to Chaco Canyon,
Okay.
and
Yeah, we're 72 miles from Albuquerque.
yeah, I think we're just on the fringe of the Navajo land. This might be Hopi, maybe.
So as soon as I took delivery of this Anthem, I pulled it into an RV site there in Oregon and got up on the roof and drilled my first hole through the roof. Well, technically through the rear cap, the front cap, the rear wall of the front cap. And I put in Starlink. So we've got Starlink on the roof, and that is what we're using while we're driving right now. So hopefully the stream quality is consistent and good. And if it is, it's because it's Starlink.
Let's not give.
No, I mean I'm just saying it works and it's
Yeah. Okay, so we are just south of Acoma Pueblo People's land,
okay.
and I don't know where I got Hopi from. That's Zuni is south of us, and then some Navajo. But yeah, we're in Acoma land. One of these days, I'll get to Chaco Canyon. I need one of those 4x4 Class C's that we saw.
Oh yeah.
Yes, Arnie, it's a Bolt with a B, as in Bravo. It's
Yeah.
a Bolt EUV.
Yeah, so it's the slightly bigger version of the Chevy Bolt. They have the Bolt EV and then the Bolt EUV, where U is for utility. So you have the
Kind
Bolt
of.
electric vehicle and then the Bolt electric utility vehicle. It was slightly bigger and a little more headroom in the back, so that's why we went with that one.
I thought we got that one because it had the adaptive cruise where the EV one
think
didn't
both.
or something
I
like
think
that.
it was available on both if you paid for the premium options, but oh, come on, man. Okay, at least you're speeding up a bit. So yeah, it has the adaptive cruise. It has their super cruise, so it's a hands-off uh, driving assistant. And the big part was we wanted a lightweight front-wheel drive electric vehicle because we were trying to get something that came in under the towing capacity of the Wayfarer, and it fit the bill. And the tow trailer that we got only weighs like 350 or 400 pounds, so it's super light.
And now it doesn't really matter.
Right now it doesn't matter because we got 15,000 pound towing capacity. No Tesla trucks. No.
That was never an option.
No.
The moment they pulled that disgusting looking thing out on the,
It looks like a dumpster,
it
but
does look like a dumpster.
yeah.
But when we were, this was how many years ago when it first came out on
That was
that?
like 4 years ago.
Yeah. There was somebody that was watching it with us that was like, "Oh, that looks awesome." I'm just shaking my head going, "No, we are not putting money down on that thing." And then he threw the ball and broke the glass, and that would just
Right.
solidified it.
And it's just, yeah.
That just made me smile.
The Rivian truck we really liked. And I think we've said this before on our streams, but the Rivian vehicle and just end to end was far better than any of the Teslas we had. And we had a Model X P100D, which is their, most expensive top of the line at the time. And the Rivian was way better in every aspect: the build quality, the ride quality, the interior comfort,
And
the fit and finish.
for both of us, it ended up being the best vehicle we've ever owned.
Yep.
And for like the amount of vehicles that we've been through in our lives combined and separate, that's saying something.
Yeah.
It just, yeah.
Yeah, we miss it already, and it's only been gone 2 months now.
Yeah. But one day.
Yep.
Card Bunny says the Tesla truck is horrible looking. It is. I have to resist the urge every time I see one in public not to point at it like Nelson and
From the
let
Simpsons.
from the Simpsons and let the driver just really feel the embarrassment. Because I can't believe you paid money for that thing. You know, it's. I saw one meme. It looked like the guy said it looked like his Pine Box Derby car or something. Like he made
Oh,
one of
yeah.
those when he was a kid. Oh, we got more rain.
Yep. So as far as tech upgrades, oh, well, so people who are used to Tiffins and practically every other RV maker out there, um, one of the big mind changes that we had to make coming into this is every other RV maker says to level the RV first and then move the slides out. Integra says the opposite. Move the slides out first and then level the coach. And I, their take on it, I guess, is that the system is stiff enough that it's in a relaxed state before you level, and then leveling the RV makes it twist more potentially. I don't know, but that's what we've been doing. That's what they say to do with it.
Herbie said packing and downsizing is so hard. You guys have done
Oh
it
gosh,
several times.
yeah. And this time was the worst so far, I think, because we'd only been in the house about 18 months, but we bought literally every piece of furniture in the house. We bought new with, right after we got into it. We
Except
had,
for our mattress and 2 recliners that
yeah,
we
2
had in the
recliners.
RV.
Yep. So, yeah, it was a big gut punch. And honestly, we were, we knew we needed to move it quickly, and we knew we weren't going to get like money back for it, right? Like that wasn't the way it was going to work. We weren't going to come out ahead. So we literally priced things on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace and friends and everybody at like pennies on the dollar.
And a lot of stuff that didn't sell or we didn't think would sell or we didn't want to deal with, we donated it to the cat rescue that I volunteer with. And they
Yeah.
do like Poshmark and eBay and other auctions.
Community Cat Angels, in
Yep.
case you want to
Las
provide some
Vegas.
support. Yep.
They crap and provide um, it's TNR, trap, neuter, return. So they'll take a colony cat and have it fixed and checked up
Vetted,
and
yeah.
vetted. And if it can be adopted and it is sociable or there's hope for it to be social, it gets found a home, come hell or high water. Nancy, the president, she is just a powerhouse of determination when it comes to saving these animals. It's amazing. I'm in awe of her and the volunteers. And if it can't, then it goes back out to the colony where the caretaker is, feeding it and keeping an eye on it. But it's 300,000 cats, like stray cats
In Las Vegas.
in Las Vegas area. Yeah. Mary has sold stuff a quarter of its worth just to move it. I believe it.
Yeah, we've gone anywhere from 10% to 25% on most items. Some of the more desirable things we stuck in around 50% of the new cost, but
we did okay on the projector, thanks to
thanks
Theo.
to Theo. Yeah. So I had a 120-inch screen with a projector, a 4K laser projector, and a whole big home theater surround system, and we had a 77-inch OLED TV and a 55-inch OLED, and I mean just all kinds of stuff. Brand new 3D printer.
Ice cream maker with compressor, so you didn't have to freeze the bin. Yeah. So Tropical Troy and Desert Diane, wishing you
Hello. Welcome.
A safe trip from Canada.
Hey, thanks.
Canada's on the itinerary at some point.
Yes, we will be going to Canada.
he's never been to Frankfurt, and I think they've all passed away now. My mother had cousins that lived there, so I would go up there in the summer sometimes, and we had the locks that my mother would demand fishing at the locks, and I never enjoyed fishing. I was always grossed out by it.
So we almost got blown away when we were in the Wayfarer. We were talking about wind and how things handled earlier, but we were coming back across from Kentucky this last trip, and we were in,
Kansas.
was it Kansas?
Yep.
Yeah, so we were in Kansas coming across, and there was tornadic activity like right across the state line. We were close to the state line, and I was using radar apps, watching and checking things, and yeah,
Lots of hail.
yeah, lots of hail, winds in like 70 miles an hour range.
We ended up with two horse trailers.
Yeah,
Just
tucked
kind of
up
like
under
get,
overpass.
yeah. We were
Because it,
just helping each other buffet each other, and we
yeah,
ended up stopping at the same truck stop. And man,
it was very, very, like I was super concerned that the hail was going to come through something in the Wayfarer. And we'd already made the decision that we were going to trade it in on a new coach. And I was like, oh, please,
yeah, this is
please.
not what
And
we
we had
need
just
right.
replaced the windshield on it too.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh man, that would have sucked. But surprisingly, it came through without a scratch.
And it was so strange because I even took like a quick video of him. And over here, it was this gorgeous blue sky, not a cloud in sight, just amazing. And over here, it was black and ominous.
Yeah.
And we thought we were just going to ride the middle. And
Well, yeah, I was watching its motion on radar,
yeah.
and with the path we were taking, it looked like it was going to skirt just north of the interstate that we were on. But man, it came right across.
But we stopped at the underpass for the hail protection. I just want everybody to be clear. There was no tornado. We were not ignorant enough to stop under an underpass during a tornado.
No, no.
That's,
We just needed the hail block.
yeah, we needed the hail block.
And we weren't like climbing up into the crevice of the underpass or anything like
Right.
that, where it's way, way worse. So, peeps on the stream, how's the quality? I'm seeing occasional drops in bandwidth. So just trying to get a feel for, like, is there a lot of stuttering? Is there pauses in the video or is it down resing?
The only thing I'm noticing on this is
The wiper?
the wiper, but I'm not staring at it. I'm trying to get car sick.
Yeah. I think you could actually, if you wanted to, you could pause the video and still keep up with the live chat.
I don't know, somebody chat something so I can test Michael's theory. Yep, you're right. Woohoo! I don't have to stream and take the bandwidth up.
Nice. I mean, you're technically using a different direction of the bandwidth, but yeah.
So, Herbie says there are blips every once in a while.
Okay. So yeah, I'm using a router software called PF.
That hurt.
Wait for another motorcycle to go by. There we go.
Oh, this has top-down 360 camera too.
Yeah. So there's a lot of upgrades
Going
on
down
this.
the road, we can see what's on either side or behind us.
Yep. And it has a digital dash and a 15-inch big screen here in the center with the GPS and climate controls and the camera. And I can bring the GPS or the camera into the dash, and it'll move the speedometer and tachometer over to the sides. I've also already hacked the system, so I can pull the feed of the camera for use in our surveillance system, so we can have recording of that. I can actually pipe it into this feed as well, which I might do later since the instrumentation is messed off on us. The other thing is, because it's so quiet and it rides so well, you don't feel like you're going the speed that you're going. Like we're doing 77 miles an hour right now, and it feels slow. It feels like we're doing maybe 35 or 40. It is still the same 450 horse motor, the Cummins ISL 8.9. The Cornerstone has the 15 liter 605 horse, but yeah, it would have been nice to have had that, but it may have been a little worse on fuel efficiency. Not quite sure. All right, turning off the wipers now. So yeah, we don't know how long we'll stream today. I've been listening to a boatload of audiobooks, and for this trip, we've been listening to the Expanse audiobooks. We just started the first one, Leviathan Wakes, about 4.5 hours into it. So,
Yeah, we've seen the series
oh
about
yeah,
10
gosh,
times all the way through.
yeah, so well done. It's interesting the discrepancies between the books and the series, though. So, um, yeah, and like even an hour or two in, there's already a whole list of things that are slightly different between the two.
Well, that
Um,
happens with any
oh yeah, it happens with
adaptation.
any adaptation. The Martian, I think, was really almost word for word true to the book. They did chop out parts of the book, but yeah,
Yeah, but Ade was Ade, or Watney was Watney. I mean, like
right,
Ade in Expanse isn't really Ade, but like you said, she was in it for one episode or something, so it
yeah,
probably did. K2 Spartan chassis on Anthem.
yes, exactly. Yeah, we had the Power Glide on the Allegro bus, but yeah, the K2 has been really, really solid. It's interesting when I when I tried to get an insurance quote for it, the first rep I talked to, she said, "We don't show this as an RV. We show this as a fire truck." I'm like, the same company makes fire trucks. Really? Like, yep, yep. Spartan, they make fire trucks, but they have a different division that makes RV chassis. Okay. I had to reassure her that we were not going to be responding to any fires with our RV.
Let's hope not.
A lot of motorcycles on the road today.
Probably thought it was going to be better weather.
Probably. High desert New Mexico, that's not exactly prime rain territory, I guess.
Herbie says, I have to say that your new coach is far more quieter than our Tiffin. It is amazing. Yeah. It is so quiet in here that usually when we're driving in any of the RVs, like in the Wayfarer, in the AB, my tinnitus was just kind of went into the background. I didn't, hear. I'm actively hearing my tinnitus, which I don't know, speaks about how horrible my tinnitus is or how quiet the coach is.
Yeah,
Could go either way.
it is very, very quiet in here. So there, some of the other differences. Number one, Integra seems to have prioritized window size over cabinet size. And that was a huge learning shift for us, moving out of the house and into the
into this
Integra, into the Anthem, um, we were expecting, having lived in the Allegra bus for so long, to have similar amounts of space. But to give you an idea, the cabinet above the couch in the Allegro bus, I use a lot of those plastic shoebox storage containers that you can buy from Container Store. And in the Allegro bus, I could fit 3 of those high in the cabinet above the garage. And I still had like 2.5 inches left above it that I could stick other things. In this, 2 of those containers are tight in that same space.
It's also not as deep.
Yeah, it's not
Because
as deep.
there-
Yep.
You'd slide the shoe boxes all the way back and still have space for other things.
Yeah.
But this is not that much. They're not as deep
And not as tall.
and not as tall. And there's when you're doing like when we did the video tour of it and the guy was doing a walkthrough for us, we're like, oh, okay, so yeah, there's a cabinet there, there's a cabinet there. But
Like
it's also
very similar space that the cabinets occupy compared
Right.
to the Tiffin.
But-
But until you start putting stuff in it,
or even open the door and realize, oh, it's a panel for something. It just has a cabinet door on it.
yeah.
That's not an
In the
cabinet.
mid bath, for example, there's
All in up here and here.
oh yeah.
These
So
aren't.
yeah, that's the other odd thing. The breaker boxes are up here above the driver's window, which makes no sense to me. I'm not sure exactly why they do that. But that's where they are. So like that is not a cabinet you can store anything in. That one over there has a flat wall and it has manual override slide room controls and the TV antenna control. So it for the tuning of the antenna. And that's it. So it's
And the washer and dryer is in the closet. So the closet where in the 44,
and the 44D is a
D.
Delta.
it's a walk-in closet with the bath with the washer dryer and then a wardrobe and some drawers. But in the B as in Bravo, it's just 2 sliding doors, a short
Yeah.
2/3 of the width of the RV.
Yeah.
As your clothing, and then the washer dryer stackable. So there's no like extra storage for laundry soaps or anything like that. So it's a bit of a learning curve, this floor plan, what we really need, where is gonna go. Because we had started looking at the 44Ds
Yeah.
and because it was very similar to what we were used to. So when we downsized, then we had to downsize again because we're like, oh, it's not all going to fit. And now when we get stopped for a reasonable amount of time, Michael's going to have to go through his stuff again.
Yep.
And
there's a lot of stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I brought on board that is specific to one task, which is swapping the batteries to lithium and upgrading the inverters. I have a lot of heavy gauge wiring and stuff that has gotten much more expensive since the pandemic.
Yeah.
And tools for crimping those cables hydraulically and stuff like that. So there's a lot of space consumed right now in the cargo area of the coach that will be gone as soon as we get that conversion done. That's a high, very, very high on our to-do list priorities. Some other cool things on this one, the cargo doors don't have traditional handles like the chrome handles or anything on them. It's a push button and there's a lighted ring around the push button so that if you hit it while it's locked, that lighted ring goes red. And if you hit it while it's unlocked, the light goes green and it releases a pop latch. And then you just pull the door open. There is a key that is directly attached to the latch as well, a key hole. So if for some reason the power's out or, there's an issue with one of those pop locks, you can always use your key to open that compartment as well. But it makes the cargo area really sleek.
And I'm not a Luddite. I just don't think everything needs to be technified. Can I get a switch, like turn the light on? Because you know, I got to get my
There's a lot
glasses
of touch screens.
out and
Yeah.
touch screen and look. I just need to turn the light on. That's all I need.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah, everything is on the Firefly integrated control system.
which works for him because he knows, you know, Coach Proxy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm adapting my Coach Proxy code over to work with the Firefly system and integrating it into Home Assistant so we can have all of our automations and such. It's weird the differences though and how Firefly, because Firefly takes Spider Control's hardware, which is what the Tiffins have had, and they reprogram it to their own specs. So there's things that don't follow the RVC spec that Firefly does, and there's things that Spider did differently as well, but the differences are completely different between those two. So it makes adapting the Coach Proxy code over a little bit of a hassle.
And we have to do some kitten proofing.
Yes, there's all kinds of little sneaky spaces the kittens can get into that we hadn't seen initially and were surprised by at various
And
points.
hadn't thought that they would figure out how to do that.
Yeah,
Like jump on top of the slides
while they're
like
retracted.
from here, I get it. Like the top of the chair, that's an easy jump. But in the back, by the end of the kitchen counter, there's a gap that's
Between the two slide rooms.
maybe 8 inches.
Yeah,
And they jumped up and, you know, up and from there into the, yeah. So Michael had to get the compressed air can out, kind of shush them out.
yeah. We hate to use that.
But they had, I mean, who knows what's up there? They had little black paw prints on everything when they got down. So it's not safe.
It's not really a spot we want them to get
Acclimated to being up in. And so, yeah, it's just new stuff, you know.
Yeah, lots of growing curves and stuff, growing pains and curves.
But the fact that I slept through the night at a truck stop and didn't have to deal with sounds. Even we were in Vegas, and I guess it was around Labor Day. Somebody in the neighborhood behind the RV park was popping off fireworks, and I thought they were part of the show that we were watching until it was a quiet section of the show, and I heard it again. I said, you know, there's fireworks. When we were in the house in Vegas, we had to leave in June and New Year's Eve. We could not stay in the house without completely.
For July. Yeah, July 4th.
July 4th and New Year's Eve. Because we would have to literally sedate the cats completely it's like a war zone.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And the fact that this was, you know, almost as close and we barely heard it is a testament to the build quality, I think. I keep waiting for everybody talks about drone fireworks shows. That needs to happen.
That needs to really catch on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny when I'm not talking, the VU meter doesn't even deflect from the.
Oh, I did the decibel sound meter thing on the phone the other day when we were going down the road.
Oh, yes?
Yeah, it was like nothing. $61. Oh, we hit a bump, hit 81. Yeah. Conversation. 57. Quiet office. Yeah. I should have did it in the Wayfarer.
Oh, yeah, gosh.
Because it was quite rattly too.
Yep.
And that was the thing, like that's one of the selling points when we went to look at it, because we thought we're going to be using this a lot, was that it had washer dryer hookup already. You know, you just put the washer dryer in, and it had to be the washer dryer combo. It was only enough room for that. But then after we got in it, we put in basically 2 outfits and just figured we'd do laundry a lot. There was no room for the washer dryer.
Yeah, and if you put a washer dryer combo in, there was no space for any clothes.
Yeah. Herbie says it's dead silent when we stop talking.
Nice. And I'm not using any compressor or anything on this, so I'm not like clipping the audio at a certain level or anything. It's pure
very
unfiltered. And not to say it's like perfectly quiet even on rough roads. I mean, we can certainly hear
but
like some of the roads and stuff, but compared to the bus, it's way, way, way different.
yeah, there is no yelling.
I will say one big drawback on the screens, the screen over here that has the GPS and all that kind of stuff in it, it is not designed properly for use with polarized sunglasses. So I had to buy a new pair of sunglasses that don't have polarization just to be able to see the screen, because otherwise it's pitch black when I glance over there. So it was completely useless.
And I have to wear my aviators because they're not polarized because I can't glance over and see the camera or.
Yeah. And the 2025s, in theory, do have a polarization friendly version of the screen, but we were in a 2025 that had that sticker on it, and it was still about 2/3 darker than it was without polarized. So they may have improved it a bit, but it is not fixed by any stretch.
And I never had the problem in the Rivian.
No.
So whatever
The
the
Rivian
Rivian
or the
uses,
Teslas, none of them had that issue.
because you glance down at the map, you have to do it this way.
Yeah, with polarized.
Polarized. You can't just like glance over.
And I've tried all the like my detail buddy, he has different sunglasses and they each have a different type of polarization on them. So there was, I can't remember all of them. Like the ones that I usually wear are just straight horizontal polarization. And I think he had like radial polarization and diamond polarization and something else. I don't know. I'm not up on that tech, but none of them made it any better.
Are we gonna have lunch when we stop for fuel?
Yes. Oh, it's almost 2 o'clock.
Yup.
So we got 23 minutes left, 21 miles to our fuel stop in Albuquerque.
Don't make a left.
No. Well, no, he should have made a left at Albuquerque. Right?
Yeah, he should have.
Yeah. But we're not gonna.
But we're not gonna.
We're going straight through.
I always feel, and it's such a strange thing. It happened again this time. When I see the sign that says "Welcome to New Mexico," it's like, even though I know we're not staying in New Mexico for very long, like we're just driving through, my anxiety level just kind of bottoms out. It's just like,
Just melts away, huh?
I'm home, but not for long. There is a bit of a rattle from
One of the roller shades.
one of the roller shades. I think the screw is loose.
Yeah, I meant to check that while we were at Wally World. So I think maybe we'll end the broadcast at the fuel stop and get back to some Amos, some Expanse audio book.
Miller. If you guys have not seen that series, yeah.
Now I will caution, it is not a series that you can be doing 5 other things while you watch it.
At least not the first time.
Especially not the first time through. You have to pay attention, and like there's a lot of threads going on that all kind of come together, and if you miss, like you're reading a blog post or something and you look up and you're like, what the heck's going on? How do they get here? Like, and there's so much nuance.
Yeah, there's nuance, and there's so many technical details that they get right, or are it just like, for instance, the acting that Amos does, Wes Chatham. He has plays a character, Amos Burton, who is mentally broken from a very traumatic childhood. And the actor took the script or the book, I can't remember what it, but to a psychiatrist and said, let's walk through this, help me be this person.
Now, how would this guy
Yeah, how would he handle these
portray
situations?
these? Yeah.
And there are certain scenes where there is nothing more than the flick of an eyelash. And it's like, oh, Amos is about to, you know,
Yeah, you just his facial
it just
expression just pops, and you're like,
pops.
oh, that
Like
switch
there's
flipped.
one scene like he's going after some guy, just like wailing on him, and his friend is like, Amos, let him go, stop. And the facial expression just shifts, and you're like, oh shit, you know. So I mean, it's so well done on so many levels.
Yeah.
And Adam Savage
Yeah, he
cameo,
makes a
you
cameo
know,
appearance.
that's thank you, Daphne. She and Steve, hoping you have a wonderful trip. Enjoy your new anthem. We love your new.
Thank you very much. We'll post some pictures and stuff on the blog shortly on it.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah.
This
It's
has just been a mad dash, and then there was
really
delays in
has.
like getting it, and will they, won't they, and
Yeah, so we had delays in getting it, but not delays in when we could turn the keys in. So it made that time
yeah,
frame really crunch down. And there was stuff that we needed to get rid of, but we needed while we were there in the house. So
yeah.
like we had to delay some things getting sold, and
We were really kind of down to the wire,
yeah,
and
it's been hectic.
it has been. It's been emotional. Arnie says, "Great to hear you guys again. Safe travels." Or no, the icon is out of the way again. Safe travels on your new chapter. Be safe.
Thanks, Arnie.
Thank you very much. Well, probably, I mean, it's going to be a couple of days before we get to Florida. And after we get to Florida and then we end up where we're going to be for the winter, after that, the plan is to go more places. That was another caveat for like why we're going back full time. I'm kind of over, if we're just going to sit in one spot, then I don't want to sit in an RV spot. I want space and things. And so this is the push to see things and do things. So we'll be traveling more, hopefully. We just decided that we're going to be somewhat stationary through the winter so we can see friends and family and get plenty of, we know where we're going to be. So if there's a delayed shipment for like battery upgrades or flooring upgrade or something else shakes out that needs to be addressed.
Yep.
And we get to visit family. So that made it more, less anxious, not more anxious, less anxious.
Yeah.
So.
So yeah, we'll be in Florida, and then we're going back to Kentucky for a bit. Then after that, uh, yeah, all over the East Coast, hopefully, or eastern part of the U.S. There's a big bump here. Oh, that wasn't bad at all.
No. A little jiggly.
Yeah, it's so interesting, the mental transition from
Yeah, you're bracing yourself, and the other coach is like,
yeah.
at least I am. I hope her mail guy can find her. Took her mailbox with her.
Right.
Drag. Let's look for a pretty car.
So on our on the blog, the Our View page, I plan to have the stream of the 360 camera with the in the 360 view, it defaults to also showing behind the coach. So that's what I intend to have as the live stream on their Our View page instead of out the windshield.
So
Mostly
you just
because
see the top down. You don't get to see.
you get to like this, top down in the back.
So you see where we've been, not where we're going.
Yeah. So I'll have that running here before too long. I had it running earlier today, but I'm changing how it's going, how it's set up, so that it operates a little better.
Look at the Sandias. Not as impressive for me as the Chiricahuas, but still.
Sorry. So it's so quiet. Like I have this. So the speed limit here is 75. I have this cruise control set at 78, right? 3 miles an hour over, not doing 80 or whatever. But going on a downhill, I look down and we're doing like 82 miles an hour and it still feels like we're doing 45. So I have to pay more attention and hit the brakes every now and then. That's another oddity in the difference between the bus with the Powerglide chassis and the Anthem with the K2 Spartan chassis. The cruise control doesn't kick in on the Powerglide. It would use the engine brake, whatever you had it set to help maintain your speed on a downhill. And it kept it pretty aggressively in that range, like within a couple of miles an hour of whatever your set point was. In this, it doesn't kick in the engine brake until you're 10 miles an hour over your speed set point, which is not amazing. So I'm having to pay more attention, like on downhills, and get on the brakes sooner than I did in the Allegro bus.
Yeah, because doing 88
Oh, no,
is not, no.
no.
That's a whole lot of nah.
Even though it feels perfectly normal in this, it's not what I want to be doing.
And not very safe.
No.
It takes a bit to stop one of these.
Yes.
It's quite heavy. And the fact that everything we own and,
Everything, yeah.
everyone that we love is in this.
Yeah. Our whole family.
Our whole family. Our 4 girls. Y'all, our kittens are so adorable. They're not
Oh my
kittens
gosh.
anymore, but
They'll always be kittens.
they'll always be kittens. They'll be like 20 years old kittens. Emma has mellowed too, even when we got them and brought them home. I think she's only tried to beat the crap out of Fiona once.
Yeah.
And it used to be a daily, just, I hear you breathing, I'm going to smack you. She still goes after her. If I yelp in pain, it's automatically Fiona's fault, no matter what. Like, I could stub my toe on something in another room, and she'll go find Fiona. But she's mellowed.
So we got 8 more miles to our fuel stop.
Yeah. We have 10 watching.
Hi, everybody.
You want leftovers or Carl's Jr.?
Ooh. Do they have the Western Bacon Burger?
I think that's Burger King, but I could probably get you a bacon burger with barbecue sauce on it. I have to look at their menu. Ooh, it says it's as busy as it gets. Let's see. Hi, Nim Nim. I was just talking about you.
Really wish this Porsche would find his accelerator pedal.
Yeah, they do have it. Double
They do
Western
have an
bacon.
accelerator pedal.
No, Western bacon cheeseburger.
Oh, cool.
Then they have the Big Angus Western bacon cheeseburger.
Well, let's do that one. I'm all about some Big Angus.
Dear God. What up, man? Well, come on.
You want to make an appearance on the stream, baby girl?
Come here, baby. Oh, my goodness. Come here, my little ginger.
Sorry, I'm rubbing my nose a lot. The dry air out here has really taken its toll on me.
I feel like maybe we locked up a little bit. Huh?
Oh, our stream bandwidth is quite low.
You know, get lippy and bite me. Caught up.
Okay.
Hi.
We still looking okay?
Yep. I paused it again.
Oh, And our stream bandwidth is back to normal again.
We're probably in that
You started to say dead zone.
no,
No?
I was gonna say like that where they cross, like you leave one and go to another one and you're
Oh,
still covered but you're not. It's like overlap and it kind of
yeah.
craps out a little bit.
Yeah, so the tracking of the satellites, they do move across its field of view for quite quickly. So there's frequent handoffs. Is
Yeah,
that lane?
and then
Okay, that's what I was afraid of. And to wait for the four-wheeler.
oh, why you shed so much? Hmm?
Said, brush me, Mom, brush me.
I'm brushing it right now with it blowing up in my face.
4 miles, getting closer. It's been really good hearing from everybody. I'm glad we haven't completely lost our audience from being off the internet for so long.
Hey, don't be. Why are you being that way? Huh? I was just making sure there was no more chat.
Okay.
I know you're hungry too.
Daddy's definitely getting hungry.
Oh my goodness. Goodness.
Get some food and some caffeine in me. What's our target destination for today? Tucumcari or maybe even Amarillo if we're pushing it?
Amarillo if we're pushing it, Tucumcari at the minimum.
Okay. So even when we're not live streaming like this, you can still catch our view and our GPS position if you go to turtleherding.com/hour-view. Or you can just go turtleherding.com and click the hour view button up at the top. Like I said, I plan to have the 360 feed with the rear camera view on that page here shortly.
After 1 mile, take the exit right. 149.
All right.
Herbie said he had to step away for a minute. Someone came to pick up a coffee table.
Been there, Herbie.
Yeah, we understand that.
Yeah.
If you guys come through Albuquerque, this American RV resort right here is really
After
under construction
700
apparently.
yards,
But
take the exit right.
Yeah, it's a nice
It's
RV
a
park.
nice park.
49.
Nice level concrete slabs.
We've stayed there several
Take the
times.
exit right. 149.
Stagecoach isn't bad. It's just really cramped.
That's in northern Albuquerque.
Yeah, that's in Bernalillo.
Yeah.
And it's older.
After
So
200 yards, turn right. Then immediately turn left.
it's been built, it's older, so it's been built up around. So you end up having to go down like side
Turn
streets to
right.
get to
Then
it.
immediately turn left.
So is it the Loves we're going to?
Yep.
Okay.
Loves. All right.
Here we go.
I know. Keep those back nails to yourself.
Turn left.
Thank you.
I know normally I would stay in the outside lane, not the inside lane for a left turn, but we have to
After
turn left
300
quickly
yards,
into
make a U-turn if possible. Then
the Loves.
immediately turn left.
Where is that trying to take you to?
I mean, it's going to the fuel stop, but a little wind blow through here with the dust.
Yeah, I'm just not seeing the entrance to Loves right there.
I think it's right in that grass area. There's a pullover
Okay.
left turn that you can't see because of the grass.
Oh, it's getting dusty. There's
Yeah.
a dust devil. I don't know what they're doing with the highway. There's a lot of construction in this
Yep. Good. There's nobody in the other lane, so I can take up both of them. Yeah, there you go. You see the left turn.
Okay. Shrubbery.
The berm and the shrubbery.
Shrubbery. So you decided you want Carl's Jr.?
Yes, please.
Okay.
The Big Angus Western Bacon Burger, please.
Okay, you got to get down. Thank you. That's what I do with my...
Here we go. Wow. It's cool enough for everybody's wearing pants up here. How do you get to the fuel
Around where that truck is. You have to go all the way around the
Okay.
building.
Man, parking is a little tight up in here.
Yeah. We may have to find another place to pull over to have lunch.
To actually eat.
Yeah. Okay, I hear you. That's gotta be dinging for me. Because I unhooked seat belt. Okay.
All right, everybody.
Yay.
Thanks for riding along with us.
Glad you got to see me.
Fuel up and get some grub and go back to some Expanse audiobooks.
Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you.
Yep. We'll see you in the near future on another live stream, hopefully. So take care, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye.